Deep in the dark recesses of the PlayStation Network store, there are lots of games that get released to little or no fanfare whatsoever, and you think, what on earth is this game? I can't find anything anywhere. Pong Peg is one of the worst examples of this because it's like dropped into the ocean of the PlayStation Network store with nothing to show for itself. But it's a mixture of Peggle and Breakout and Arkanoid combined. And the idea behind this is that you shoot a ball to try and clear all of the pegs on the screen, and there are 50 levels to try and clear. But in order to extend out your shot each time, you've got Arkanoid paddles at the top and bottom of the screen that you can move left and right and actually angle the trajectory of where the ball will hit off so that you can try and extend out your stay. However, these pads are very, very fragile at the very beginning of the game, and what you'll be looking to do is to score between 1 to 3 stars per level that then translate into points. Points, like an RPG system, allow you to upgrade your character, and in doing so here, it updates your ability to ping-pong your pegs. Because you can then spend those points to make your paddles longer, faster, but also stronger so that they can take more ball rebounds. But you can also then upgrade to be able to see where a free ball peg is. And you'll also be able to see with Pong Peg what pegs change gravity. Because this is the other big twist in the game, and it takes an awful lot of headspace to work out the annoyance of gravity in this game. Whenever you hit a ball, gravity flips so that the ball then will either go up the screen or down the screen as it sees fit. But there's loads of pegs on the screen or on the board for each level that will flip gravity too. And so you're constantly hitting a peg and then watching it kind of rebound the ball back, and you're having to quickly run back into place to make sure that you're able to capture it again. But because your pad is usually very, very slow, you miss invariably. And this is what makes the beginning of Pong Peg so frustrating, because you're barely scraping by getting 1 star for most of these levels to get the lowest, highest score that it will accept for 1 star before you then get the 2nd star. The 3rd star is to knock out all of the pegs, and you'll never get any of that early on, because at every 10th level you get to play against a boss. And the idea behind this is that each boss comes with its own little power-up, which you can then buy with your star points once you've defeated the boss. And it's not until you've got through several of these bosses and you're about level 30 or so that Pong Peg suddenly starts to come together. But you're going to have to proper slog for a couple of hours to get there. And I don't think that's very fair for gamers. Because once you've beaten some of those bosses, you get the ability to have multi-ball. You get the ability to have a radiation ball, which means that you don't just lose sight of your tiny little ball bearing that's so difficult to spot because of all of the explosions going on the screen. You can waste loads of your power-up points just trying to make that ball visible, not realising that a boss later on gives you a ginormous radiation hue that means that you can keep them all in check. You also get the ability to then flip gravity of your own accord to some degree as well, and this makes the game far more easier to navigate, understand, enjoy, and not feel like this game is just out to hate you, because that's how I felt for the first 2 hours as I persevered and slogged, and looking at the trophy scores thinking, well, everyone else gave up, I'll keep going a little bit more, but it got under my skin. And then as more and more of these power-ups enabled me to feel more in control of what I was doing, I started to enjoy Pong Peg much more than what I did earlier on in the game. Did it make up for those first couple of hours being an absolute slog? No. But I do applaud the developers behind this game for trying out something unique and interesting. I do think the controls are part of the problem as to why Pong Peg is quite difficult to play, and it's because you need to navigate your initial gunshot with your shoulder buttons. You'll then push left and right with the left analog stick, but then also control how you tilt those pads with the right analog stick. but it's not left and right to tilt left and right, it's up and down to tilt left and right. And that really confused me, and I never really got on top of it during my entire gameplay run through. And so I ended up resorting to making sure that I'd flip gravity to give my brain the brain power to work out what the controls were to try and make something work. And so I will never fully 100% ping pong peg, because I'll never be able to clear all of the pegs, because the controls were doing my brain in and the physics of the ball signed to kind of exponentially, the ball just gets faster and more batty the longer you stay in the game. And so I found that quite difficult to kind of go, is this physics? Really? I felt like that meme where the guy with the bird in the hand, it's like, is this blah-de-blah? I was like, is this physics for this game? It really felt like that. But underneath, swimming around in there, something was definitely moreish, something was definitely addictive. I just think games like Peggle, Roundguard, Grindstone, Peggle all do this better and in a much more approachable manner. And so if you've been through all of those games and loved them all, then Ping Pong Peg might be another one to add to your list, but it would be one that I would recommend after all of those other ones that I just mentioned, because I think they are all fundamentally better rounded games, particularly Roundguard. I think that game's fantastic and I adore it. Written review will be over on highplayinggames.com. Any comments and questions, leave them down below. Cheers. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplane-network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.